The lightning shows my weakness, the thunder knows my secrets. The storm is like a brother, it knows me like no other. So let it rumble, let it roll, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your calm and easy, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the tree, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. I see the waters rising with waves as strong as iron. My soul was born for running. The darkness is my compass, and I will follow where it goes, 'cause it's all I know. You can keep your sunshine story, but that peaceful life ain't for me. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like it can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, it's like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. Sirens ring and run for shelter. I will chase that storm forever. The harshest gales call out from the trees, like they can sense the reckless in me. And when the clouds roll in, feels like I'm home again. Don't need your safe and sound, let the rain come down. Let the rain come down. So let the rain come down. Let the rain come down.
I am Nancy. I'm your host today. It is 3:03 in the afternoon, and you could be anywhere you want to be, but you choose to be here. It could be 5 o'clock. It could be 2 o'clock. It could be 9 o'clock. I don't know where you're at, but you're here. Thank you. Please hit that thumbs up. It helps get my algorithms out. Alrighty. Church, what do you want? I'm being attacked. Okay. So yesterday we were talking about the beginning part of Sebastian Rogers. And I played part of an interview from Court TV. And I went back and played the rest of the interview, because I didn't want to sit through the whole Court TV thing. But part of this, I feel something's important right here. Like I'm missing something here. I don't know what I'm missing, but I'm missing something here. So let's jump into, okay, first off, I got to find my Fair Use Act thing. All right. Let's open. Tearing up. He's tearing something up. There's our Federal Fair Use Act thing. I've been told that according to YouTube, hi H. Davis, how are you doing? According to YouTube, there is actually no fair use act. YouTube cannot say you're using something in fair use. It has to be determined the legal way. But we're still making the effort. All right. So now I'm going to go back to Vinnie Politan from Court TV, and we're going to hear the rest of the story. Who used to say that? Somebody asked the other day, I think it was on Brittany's channel, somebody said, who said that? And on that day, I could think, but not now. He used to be on TV every day at noon. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I can't think of it right now. It'll pop up in my head and I'll just come out and blurt it out. Okay? I do that. All righty. So let's come. Body language experts from Vinnie Politan on Court TV. Church, what are you chewing on? That's electrical. You can't chew on electricity. It's unplugged. He's fine. It's unplugged. But if it wasn't unplugged, that tree would be lit up. And that tree, I'll switch it around here, is not lit up. The light you're seeing is the light from the window behind it. It is not lit up. He cannot be hurt from chewing on it. Okay. So, why am I in the dark all of a sudden? Oh, well. Anyway, let's look at Vinnie Politan. See what he has to say. I don't know where my play button went.
So there's stepdad and mom's the one really talking, right? Describing what happened that day. That's on the Chronicles of Olivia. Really fascinating interview. I showed that clip, or a bigger piece of that clip, to Sebastian's dad, Seth, on the show last night. And here's part of his reaction to that.
I'm not here to sling mud, but why is she asking Chris to verify what she did on Sunday when Chris wasn't here on Sunday?
Okay, so now let's play a longer piece of that clip so you can see the dynamic between Katie and Chris as Katie's talking about what happened that day. Let's watch.
We went and picked up our niece. Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn. Came home to put groceries away because we bought snacks because, he's 15.
She had to think about the colossal popcorn part of it. Did you notice that? She had to think about it. Like she couldn't remember. She said the popcorn, and then she had to stop and think about what they did after that. She didn't say that they walked around the new store because they were at the grand opening of that store, of that Costco or whatever that store was, the BJ's, I guess. I don't know. But they were at the grand opening of that store, and he got a big old popcorn. And, but the popcorn didn't matter. The fact that they met family there and walked around the store together, that's what matters.
Snacks. We went to the bowling alley. And then from there, we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway. About 9 o'clock.
Yet the scent dogs didn't catch his scent, remember? But yesterday we talked about that. The scent dogs did not catch Sebastian's scent on the driveway from taking the trash cans down.
Told him to go to bed. He just come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And about midnight.
Later, that noise that she didn't care what he was doing turned into a thump or a thud or something that she heard in there. And I'm doing much better. Thank you, H. Davis. Thank you. I'm getting past some things. So things are getting much better. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. How are you doing? What can you talk about it? You can text me, H. Davis. If there's anything I can do to help, I'll try to help. If there's anything I can do, I'll try to help. Okay, I understand. Well, I'm here. You can always text me. I'm just a text away. And for the people in the back, no, there's nothing going on between H. Davis and myself except a friendship. We met on another person's chat, and we're just YouTube friends. So let's don't go anywhere with that one. People in the back. People in the back. Church, I can't see what I'm doing. Well, I need the mouse. You can't have that mouse.
And I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Okay, our guest back with us, Tiffany Lee, Dr. Carol Lieberman, Lauren Vellucci. Tiffany Lee, your thoughts, anything that you saw from mom, from stepdad?
Now, this part is important. This is the important part I thought we should listen to. The other part was to remind us of what we needed to remember to get to this part. Church, please quit.
For sure, it's a lot of what I didn't see. So when you're watching this clip and you understand what's going on, I would expect to see, and I'm sure you all can agree, more emotion. You know, if this was your 15-year-old son who is now missing, I would expect to see more visible emotion, maybe even some shaking and an actual tear. And we're just not seeing that here. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And something else I'm noticing is that the interaction between Chris and Katie, they don't make eye contact.
H. Davids, that is good news. I've been praying for you, sweetie. I've been praying for you. I wish somebody would take care of this one. You've got to outgrow the biting phase. You've got to outgrow the biting. Yes, you do. You've got to outgrow the biting. You're very welcome.
At all. I would think if this was your stepson and your son, they would maybe be a little more closer, physically supporting each other. But it's just like this kind of random, she looks over this way. When he's talking, he's not looking at her. She's not looking at him. She does kind of glance over in his direction as almost to get approval for what she's saying. But there's really something that feels off here. But my biggest thing is the lack of emotion that is being shown.
Dr. Carol Lieberman, what did you see? What did you notice? What's significant here?
Well, there's a huge difference between this couple and Sebastian's father. I mean, his father is acting like someone generally acts when their son is missing, and they're very devastated by it. I think they looked like robots, first of all, no feeling. But in particular, I think she looks like the typical woman who has been abused. You know, I've treated a number of women who have been abused, and it's.
She's a martial arts expert. How could she be abused? Mentally, yes. But physically, I don't see it.
It's like this, not only robot-like, you know, but her eyes down, deferred. You know, even when she looks at him, it's like kind of for approval. But it's more than that. It's like that she has been. She's afraid. There's some fear there, and I think that he has a lot of control over her. And when he was telling Sebastian's father, yes, you know, let's have Sebastian live with you, she would have felt betrayed. If she wants Sebastian living with her, she would have felt betrayed by Chris. And that would have led to a lot of tension in the household.
Lauren, does the story itself make sense to you? Are there other things that you need to fill in what happened here?
Hello, April T. It's been a minute. How are you doing? Thank you for being here.
It's a lot of detail that is not necessary, and I can tell you that that happens when people are lying, like the size of that popcorn.
Colossal.
Colossal. It doesn't add any weight or any kind of anything to finding your son, and I need to know why these people are not searching, and I need to know why they've left town.
Church, please. Things are getting better. Thank you for asking. Things are getting much better.
Tiffany Lee, Dr. Carol Lieberman, Lauren Vellucci, we're out of time for tonight, but obviously this story continues as the search for Sebastian continues. Thank you all so much.
All right. So I agree. I agree with that. There's no communication between Chris and Katie. It's like they're opposite sides of the same magnet, I guess, if you wanted to use it that way, North and South Pole. And then she has to look for you seriously going on here and commenting about how things are getting better. Why are you bringing your bullshit? You know what, Amanda Panda? You do not get to come on here and try to write bad things. Okay. I don't even know the rest of what she said. I didn't read the rest of what she said. I don't care what she had to say. She's just trying to start trouble, and we're not going to do trouble and drama on this channel. So, I'm not talking bad about anybody. I have not talked bad about anybody. So, with that being said, goodbye. So, anyway, I'm sorry you had to see that. She's just trying to start trouble, and I'm not going to have trouble on my channel. I have not talked about anything that's been going on in my life, except I've been stressing. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I am not bringing anybody's name into what's going on, and nobody needs to come in here and bring their own name into what's going on. That's what I'm going to say. No drama. Now, let's get back to Sebastian Rogers, where we were. Okay. This I'm going to bring up with Nancy Grace. But clear you are. That's why people are asking you how you're doing, and you've been sadly saying, oh, I'm getting better. Oh, you know what? Time out. Okay, so We're going to go on Nancy Grace and see what she has to say. Oh, we got a commercial. I'm sorry.
Reportedly of two people with flashlights. What
Okay.
does that mean? Where is a missing autistic teen, Sebastian Rogers? The hunt is on for this boy. Did he?
Thank you, April T. It's because I'm trying not to put on here what's been going on. So it's my business to deal with, not my YouTube family's business. Thank you, April. Thank you for having my back there.
Wander away from home entirely barefoot? This as eerie surveillance footage emerges outside Sebastian's home, purportedly of two people with flashlights. What does that mean? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111.
You're right, April. It is. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I know H. Davis has had some struggles lately, and I ask how he's doing. He asks how I'm doing. He's getting better. I'm getting better. Everybody's getting better. I hope you're doing well, April. Thank you.
First of all, listen to this.
When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Now, why didn't she say I can't find Sebastian? What? I mean, she can't find Sebastian. Okay? So, why would she say I can't find him? She could have been talking about one of the dogs because they had 2 or 3 dogs. She could have been talking about one of the fish because they had a fish tank or a bearded dragon or whatever that was. Who is him? You know, we know it was Sebastian. But still, if it was my son, I'd be saying his name. I can't find CJ. Where's CJ? What happened to CJ? You know.
You are hearing Sebastian's mother describing the moment that she realizes Sebastian is gone. Again, I'm Nancy Grace, and I want to thank you for being with us. The search for Sebastian is on. And let me, right off the top, give you the tip line, 615-451-3838. Repeat, 615-451-3838. Look at him. This boy needs our help. Where is Sebastian? Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first, I want to go out to a very special guest. This is Sebastian's father joining us, Seth Rogers. Mr. Rogers, thank you for being with us. Could you recount for us when you learned Sebastian is missing? I know it just seems completely surreal.
Son, there's no words for it. I mean, when I found out that he was gone, I was just like, I headed over to Katie's house, see what was going on, and he's not here. I don't know where he's at. I've been looking for him every day.
You know, April, I don't know. Let's see. All it says is 1 year ago. 3 weeks after he disappeared. So it says that 15, Sebastian Rogers 15. You're very welcome. I have this list right here. Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry. You pull it up. I have this list right here. I got it from crimetimelines.com, and it shows every interview and all of the news channel coverages from about Sebastian Rogers, and that's what I've been looking for. And this is the 3/20/24 Nancy Grace. That's what it says. All right.
It's just
Seth, what have you been doing to look for him every day? And I know that to be true. You are looking for him every day. Guys, please look at Sebastian. This young boy is autistic. He may not, in a scared and emotional and lost state, he may not even be able to tell someone who he is and where his home is. He is out there lost, and the Lord only knows where. Seth, what have you been doing to find Sebastian?
He looks like a very happy little boy. He really does.
been handing out flyers every day. I've been on some podcasts. I've done some face-to-face interviews on the news. I'm just anything I can. I've been to the south side of Nashville. I've been to Franklin. I've been to Bellevue. I've been through Henderson. I've been through Gallatin. I've been through Clarksville. I've been through Oak Grove, Kentucky. I mean, I'm handing out flyers, finding out. I mean, just, I want everybody to see my son and know that he's missing, and that if you see him, call 911. I need my son back.
You know, my husband is a truck driver, and he travels between Nashville and Memphis a lot. And he stops in between there a lot. And when he does, he likes to go out on his bike. And I told him, I said, you keep an eye out for Sebastian when you're out on your bike. Keep an eye out for anybody. If you find anybody on the side of the road or whatever, please call 911. So my husband spends a lot of hours when he's in Tennessee looking while he's riding his bike, looking for Sebastian. And I can only thank him for that. I can only thank him for that.
I'm just trying to get my mind around what you and Sebastian's mom are going through, because when I go in to wake up my twins, if they're not in the bed, which is rare, they're usually still asleep. If they're not in the bed, I immediately glance in the bathroom, and if they're not there, that's totally out of character. They're always right there in their bedroom in the morning when I wake them up. And that would be totally out of the normal if they weren't there. Tell me your understanding of what happened.
Katie told me that when she woke up Monday morning that he wasn't in his room and she can't find him. And I heard that once I got there. When I got off of work, I had a text message from the stepfather, Chris, and a missed phone call. And I called him, and he told me that Sebastian was missing and he didn't know what had happened. So I had
Okay, let me ask you a couple of quick questions, Seth. Number one, is there any type of a burglar alarm in the home?
I don't know. I don't live there.
Okay. Okay, that is not helping me. Let me see if I can find that out. I'm going to go to Aaron Cantrell on that from News Channel 5. So we don't know if there's a burglar alarm. Was a window open in Sebastian's home, in his room?
Not that I am aware of.
Well, Nancy, that they did search the perimeter of the house. And I know one day when I was out there, when they were searching, they had a dive team out there. They were searching the grounds, but the area is very.
Well, man, I turn the chat off and I don't
some
know how to
parts of
turn
it
it
is
back
very
on.
rural, and they're doing a lot of construction around the area. So there's a lot of construction, lots of subdivisions being built in that area. And like you mentioned earlier, the flashlights in the backyard, that was a very common area where people could potentially be walking, but it is odd at that early in the morning that there were 2 flashlights, in considering that's what detectives are saying, that they believe that Sebastian left the home barefoot with the flashlight. So that is very odd. But as you can see in these pictures here, it's a very rural area. They've called in teams from across Tennessee. I mean, they've gone as far east, as far west, bringing in different units to come search the property. They've drained ponds. They're looking everywhere.
If you're trying
I mean,
to chat, I'm sorry. Somehow I managed to turn it off
and
on my
thousands of
tablet. I
miles
don't know if
going
it's
back
off
and forth,
here.
back and forth, until unfortunately they had to
I
scale
pushed
back
the
that
wrong
search.
button or something.
So Seth, what
My
time
chat
did you get to the home that day?
Disabled my chat.
I got the message at about 7:20. I was there at about 8 o'clock.
So immediately, when you got to the home, tell me about the state of the home.
Okay, from what I understand, when he got there, he's the one that noticed that Sebastian's shoes were all still in the living room. And Katie hadn't even noticed that yet. And he said that that house was immaculately clean in another chat.
The home was clean. I mean, it looked like it normally did when I walked in.
So were there any signs of forced entry at the front or back door or on Sebastian's window that you could observe?
No, there was none.
Was anything
Back
stolen
door
from the
was locked.
home?
Not that I was informed of.
Okay. Do you
Back
know if
door.
there are burglar lights, motion sensor lights that would turn on if someone moved on the perimeter of the home?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm trying to understand his daily routine. Did Sebastian get up every morning and go to school?
Yes, ma'am.
What school?
Beach High School.
How far away?
I think it's like 0.6 miles.
So it's a little over half a mile.
6 miles? Did you say 6 miles?
0.6.
That's 0.6, so a little over half a mile. Okay, H. Davis, thank you. At least I know my chat's still on here.
0.6 miles, very close to home. Did he walk or take a bus or ride a bike?
He rode the bus.
He rode the bus. Is he mainstreamed? He is autistic. Is he mainstreamed with other students?
He's in their Why We
What?
Try program.
What is that?
It's for the special needs children, where they are doing the same tasks that the mainstream does, but they get a little bit extra time. You know, if they have like 30 questions, and then in the Why We Try program, they get like 20, and they get extra time to answer them. So they're still learning the same stuff.
Okay, I'm trying to understand that more.
Okay, so from what that sounds like, I grew up here out in Nowhereville, Kansas, and they called that special ed. Okay, I think it was the same. They called it special ed when I was back in school, and then when we moved to Kansas, no, Arkansas, and CJ was in school, and he needed help like that because he still does. Then now they have an IEP, so they have a para that sits with them in these classes to help them to understand more better. So I don't know. I guess it's different from different states.
Morning, your wife calls you, your ex calls you about 7:20 a.m. Would that have been
No.
on a school day?
No, it was her husband that called me.
Okay. Was that at 7:20 a.m.?
No, 7:20 a.m. is when I got to my vehicle, because I got off of work at 7. My shift ended at 7. By the time I found out to make sure that I didn't have to stay over or anything, then I got to my truck about 7:20, and they had texted me and tried to call me on my cell phone at around 6:20.
And you found out about it at 7:20. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Rogers, did he go missing on a school day?
From my understanding, she put him to bed, Sunday night, and yes, Monday morning he's missing.
Okay, so he's in his room Sunday night, Monday morning, he's gone out of his home. Could you tell me the level of the severity of his autism?
He's very intelligent. He's very smart. He just lacks social skills and reading of people's body language. Um, he likes things to be in a routine. He likes to control his environment.
I'm looking at Sebastian right now, and it is.
You know what? That sounds like a lot of normal children. Normal children like to be in control of their space. I'm not saying he's not autistic. Don't get me wrong. But is autism nowadays, it's just a question, like diabetes was 15 years ago? Every doctor you went to wanted to put you on diabetes 15 years ago. Didn't matter. You were on diabetes. You were going on metformin. And now they've backed off from that. And then all of a sudden, autism showed up. ADHD. ADD. All these different things that I hadn't heard of when I was a child. We were normal children, and we were just like this. We were just like this. Why is it autism? Now, I understand he has the chromosome deletion deleted in his head. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not in any way saying Sebastian doesn't have autism. I'm not. But why? I mean, even Brian Koberger tried to say, I have autism. Is autism something you can grow out of? I know you can be diabetic and then be not diabetic. I know that's a possibility. Because a lot of the people that were diagnosed 10 years ago as diabetic are no longer diabetic. I'm one of them. I was diabetic and I'm no longer diabetic. And nothing changed other than the medicine I take. So, and I could actually be off of that medicine, except my eye doctor wants me to stay on it because he says I'm battling diabetes retinopathy, but that can be reversed, and he doesn't want anything to, he wants the diabetes medicine to help with that. So that's the way that is.
Breaking my heart thinking of this young boy, this autistic boy, possibly out in the wild, possibly with strangers he doesn't know. What would his reaction be to that, Seth Rogers?
I don't know, because I've never seen him have to deal with this. Most of the time, if he's with me, he gets his information from me about interacting with people. If I sit there and I'm meeting new people, I talk to him. It's like, son, you can introduce yourself if you would like. If he does, he does. If he doesn't want to, I don't make him.
Seth, when was the last time you can verify?
But as a parent, if you're meeting somebody new, you would say, and this is my son, Sebastian. I know if I have my son with me and I meet somebody new or somebody I haven't seen in a long time, I'm like, this is my son, CJ, So, yeah. Why doesn't Seth say, this is my son? Why does he give Sebastian the opportunity? Because Sebastian doesn't have to interact with the person as long as the person's been introduced, To me, I feel like if I walk up to somebody, if I'm with a friend, if my best friend Sheena and I were someplace, and she ran into somebody she knew, if she didn't introduce me, there's a reason. there would be a reason she wouldn't introduce. Either it's somebody that she doesn't think would mesh well with me, or somebody that I wouldn't mesh well with them. One or the other. So if my best friend chose not to introduce me, okay, I'm not going to introduce myself unless the conversation goes on long enough that I feel comfortable enough to introduce myself. Then I might introduce myself. And sometimes I forget to introduce people that I'm with, but that's just a common thing. People forget. It doesn't mean I need to go into a nursing home or nothing because I forgot to introduce somebody.
That he was alive and well.
When I talked to him on Thursday,
How often do you see him?
I get to see him every other weekend. If he's on like a spring break or a fall break, or he's got an extended time away from school for like school days. When we had the weather was bad out here and they canceled school, he was with me. Summer breaks, I get him whenever he's not in
And
school, except
Seth,
for the week.
whenever you have the opportunity to be with Sebastian, isn't it true that you exercise that opportunity? You are with him every chance possible under the law.
Yes, ma'am.
Guys, I'm bringing in the rest of the panel.
As any parent would be, every chance possible to be with their child, he is with his child.
You are hearing Seth Rogers describe the moment he gets off of work at around 7 a.m., gets to his vehicle and realizes his wife and the stepdad have been calling and texting him, thank you, since around 6:20-ish a.m. It's on a Monday morning to tell him his son, an autistic boy, is missing from their home. And from what I can tell right now, you heard Aaron Cantrell jumping in earlier, and thank you for that, Aaron. Please don't hold back, Aaron. We're not having high tea at Windsor Castle. Aaron is joining us from News Channel 5 in Nashville. Aaron,
I like the way she says that. She says, we're not prim and proper. We're not having high tea at Windsor Castle. Yeah, that's the way it is. You say what you got to say. That's the way it is.
thank you for being with us. I don't hear anything so far about a forced entry, about a window being open, about anything being taken from the home. I understand that the mother put him to bed at regular bedtime for school the next morning, and that around 6 to 6:20 a.m. Monday morning, she says she goes into his bedroom to wake him, and he is gone. Aaron or Seth or anyone else on the panel, do we know that?
We did learn later, I don't know exactly when, but I remember later it was said, it might have been in somebody's chat, so I can't say it as fact. I don't know it as fact. But I did hear that the dining room window was left open or found open. I heard that somewhere.
Anything else was missing, such as his backpack, a cell phone, something he liked? Do we know anything about anything missing from the home? Anybody?
His mother said that he's missing a keychain flashlight. That's it.
His keychain flashlight. Interesting, Seth Rogers. When I come in, I put my driver's license and credit cards, which are in a rubber band. That's my pocketbook. All of that and my key in a certain spot in the kitchen. Rarely do I put it anywhere else. This is what I'm asking, Seth. You told me that your son, autistic boy, Sebastian, likes things in a certain way in a routine, like many of us. Would he have had that flashlight, and I believe you said keys, flashlight and keys attached to each other?
It's a keychain flashlight. It's a flashlight that would go on your keys.
I bet he always put them in a certain place, didn't he?
In my house, all of his stuff is in his upper drawer. When the police showed up at my house to look, upper drawer, house key, wallet, everything's in his upper drawer.
Aaron Cantrell, News Channel 5
Yes.
Nashville. Hold on just one moment. Joining me right now is an expert, a board certified behavior analyst, an autism expert, chief clinical officer with Little Stars Therapy Services. Courtney Lasky, thank you so much for being with us. Isn't it true that autistic children, like many of us, like things to be in a certain order for many, many varied reasons? If this was missing from Sebastian's home, I would venture to hypothesize he took it with him.
Correct. Yes. And, without knowing Sebastian personally, I can't make any assumptions about his behavior, but knowing that this was not a typical history for him to wander, to leave the house in the middle of the night, it is interesting that he did leave with that keychain flashlight.
Another thing, which is quite the dichotomy, Courtney Lasky, and I'm going to throw this to you as well, Seth Rogers. If he was in such routine, as I believe he was, due to his circumstances being autistic, why would he have left without his shoes? That is not his routine. This is not a child.
Okay, all of his shoes were accounted for. Is everybody 100% certain he didn't have an old pair of shoes? When he went to the shoe store to buy new shoes, he had a pair of shoes on. I'm sure his mom did not take him to a shoe store in the mall barefooted and say, I need to buy him a pair of shoes. He got up this morning and he couldn't get his shoes on. Come on, seriously. So, how do they know he's not wearing his old shoes? Unless they saw him walk out of the house or leave the house. Unless they saw him leave the house, how do they know? Because it didn't say nothing about his old shoes. The pair of shoes that Katie had just bought him for after Christmas break, when he went back to school, or for, second semester of school, and the boots that Seth had just bought him for winter, they're the only two pairs of shoes talked about. He had to have a pair of shoes on when he went to the shoe store. Okay? Where are those shoes? Is he wearing them?
That leaves the home without his shoes. First of all, Seth, how do I know he didn't have his shoes?
3 pairs of shoes were at the front door. His old tennis shoes, his new tennis shoes that his mama had just bought him, and the boots that I had just bought him.
Okay. Katie also had new shoes. Her and Sebastian had almost identical shoes. And from what I saw, it looked like they had almost the same size feet. Could you look down and think that Sebastian's shoes were there? There's 3 pairs of shoes. Could one of them pairs not be Katie's? I don't know. I'm just trying to put hypotheses out here.
His mama had told me
wore another set of shoes.
His feet were growing. The last time I had him for the last weekend I had him, his mama told me that his shoes weren't fitting anymore. And she asked me to get him shoes. And we wanted a pair of boots, so we went to Boot Barn and got him a pair of boots.
Is it possible he wore a different pair of shoes?
I don't think so, because if he's not fitting into them, she gets rid of them.
Okay, let me tell you something, Seth. My son and daughter have one of those shoe racks over the back of their closet door. And I see those closet doors 10 times a day. I would see if shoes were missing. I would know that.
There's no shoes
and
in his room.
Okay, there's my answer. He left without his shoes on.
Shoes get taken off at the front door, same as my house.
Same here. I always have people take their shoes off at the door. Just habit. So
I don't do that. I take my shoes off most of the time and leave them behind the recliner or whatever chair happens to be sitting right there in that corner. But as far as other people taking their shoes off, I don't require that. My husband will take his off at the recliner and kick him off of the end of the recliner as it's up, and then his socks will go off and they'll go next to the trash can. And then that's where they are if I don't move them. That's where they are. And then and tomorrow I'll have to carry his shoes down to the basement in his office so that he can put his shoes on before he comes upstairs. It's just our routine. It's just something that happens. I'm not complaining about it at all. I'm happy when my husband's home.
There were no shoes in his room. All his shoes were still sitting at the door. Can we confirm that, Seth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Guys, you may think, why is she asking and asking and asking about the same thing? I'll tell you why. Behavioral evidence, evidence of routine. Hold on, Courtney Lasky, because this touches on you as well. Dr. Sherry Schwartz is with me, forensic psychologist specializing in victim advocacy at panthermitigation.com. Dr. Sherry, thank you for being with us. Dr. Sherry, when I say routine evidence, I don't mean mundane evidence, just, the regular evidence. I mean evidence of routine. For instance, if I came and sat down in this chair in this studio and Jackie was not right there, she would either be dead or on the way or in the hospital, period, because that's her routine, right? So this autistic child would not have left in the middle of the night without a pair of shoes on. And that is telling me something probatively. It proves something to me. What do you think of it, Dr. Sherry?
I agree completely, Nancy. I actually saw an interview that Mr. Rogers gave about this particular issue and how when he was younger, Sebastian, he went outside barefoot and he stepped into an anthill of fire ants. And so Dad doesn't believe that he would go out barefoot. And so this goes to that behavioral evidence that you're talking about. This is another fact that's very important that we need to pay attention to, because this is not something that Sebastian would normally do. And we know this because he's had a prior experience. So these are really important cues in an investigation like this.
Dr. Sherry Schwartz, a lot of people may think that means nothing, that I can't find his shoes, but it means a lot to me. And I guarantee you it would mean a lot to any mother or father hearing this evidence. Seth, what does it mean to you? Was he prone to go outside and wander around at all, period, number one, at night in the dark, number two, and without his shoes on, number three?
Those are some very, very good questions. Sorry, I don't know what I did. I'm trying to get my chat back on my tablet. Now I can't even get my tablet to turn off. I don't like Apple products. But those are some very good questions she's asking. Very good questions.
Three, would he ever have done that, Seth?
No. I mean, the only time he goes outside at night at my house is to put the trash in the trash can, which is right outside my front door. That's it.
I'm very curious about this. And one more thing, while it's on my mind, does he have social media, Seth?
No, he does not.
Okay, good. I can rule that out, or at least we don't think he does. Does he have a cell phone?
He does have a cell phone.
Where's the cell phone?
At his mom and stepfather's.
So he didn't take his cell phone. Seth, is he like every other boy in America glued to his cell phone? Does
When
he love
he
his
has
cell
access
phone?
to it, he
What
loves
do you
it.
mean by that? When does he have access?
When he has access to like YouTube and stuff like that, he is glued to his phone because he likes to watch videos about Minecraft and he likes to watch videos of people playing Minecraft.
Okay, you do know that is social media because people can talk to each other on Minecraft. Did you know that?
No,
I didn't know that. I found
what I'm
out.
talking about is the videos. He watches videos of people playing it on YouTube.
Does he play it?
I think he has it for his Switch at his mom's house, but he does not.
Yeah.
and he's glued to that all
Okay.
the time.
We need a forensic search of that phone pronto, Seth, because I find it very curious if he went voluntarily, that he didn't take the phone with him. Okay. Because it'd be a cold day in HELL that either one of my 16-year-olds would go anywhere without their phone. And it's not just them. I mean, everybody takes their phone with them everywhere they go. It's like their magic wand. You can't be without it. So I find it interesting. Did the mom have the phone put away? Could he have taken it with him?
Most of the time, I've seen the phone plugged in on the counter on the little bar in their kitchen.
Okay, I'm going to Courtney Lasky joining us, expert in children and teens with autism. Courtney, you've been listening. Weigh in.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you, Nancy. This is a very unusual pattern of behavior that we're looking at. If this child has access to a cell phone, like you said, Minecraft is social media, YouTube is social media, anywhere that he would have access and the ability to talk with others. My concern would be related to his autism diagnosis and that deficit in communication and understanding of social skills. Is it possible that peers at school or someone has contacted him through these gaming methods? Bullying, peer pressure, was he persuaded to leave perhaps from his mom's house in the middle of the night?
I know
Is that
that
you jumping in, Seth?
Yes, ma'am. I know that his phone was locked down. He had no internet access. He only had the ability to take pictures on his phone, text on his phone, FaceTime, and telephone calls. Everything else was locked down on his phone.
Have the police looked at his phone? Have they taken his phone to look at who he may have been speaking to?
Yes, ma'am.
Question: Where is this coming? Where's this coming from, Aaron Cantrell? That people saw flashlights, 2 people with flashlights around the property the night that Sebastian disappears, and I keep seeing in all the headlines the night that Sebastian wandered off barefoot. I don't think that's what happened. He's never wandered off before. What? Go ahead, dear.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we got that video a little later, so we just got that video maybe and released it within like the last week or so. But this is from just neighborhood video, like the Ring doorbell cameras. In that subdivision from the reporting, there's not street lights there, so that's why it's so pitch black and it's so late at night. But you see those 2 flashlights. But what's interesting is where these lights are, it's almost a common area, so it wouldn't be odd if someone may have been out at that time walking their dog or something of that nature. But the fact that Sebastian did leave with a flashlight, and there are 2 flashlights seen in that video, and it is pitch black, very concerning.
Put him up. Put him up. Why do you keep saying Sebastian did leave? Why are you saying that? Would you go out in the middle of the night and leave without your shoes on? I'm just curious. Would you, Aaron?
No, you make a good point. I would not leave without my shoes.
I don't think you would either. Even more so because you're hearing Courtney Lasky and Seth Rogers state this boy is autistic. He doesn't think the same way we think. We have to try to think like him. He liked everything in a particular routine. His routine was he wore shoes every time he went out after the ant bed incident. Okay? So, no. Why would he go missing? And let me ask you something else, Aaron Cantrell. Isn't it true that Emergency Management Agency Director Ken Widener has told us that the canines could not pick up a scent outdoors?
Exactly. They have not been able to pick up a scent. They had a false
Not even on the trash can Sebastian was supposed to have carried out to the road that night. Or the driveway going down, because he'd have had to come out the garage and go down the driveway to put the trash can out into the driveway. But his scent wasn't there.
Hit, but then that did not turn out to be anything, because when Sebastian went missing, it was kind of a warm day that first day, but after the next day of the search, It went extremely cold. It was rainy, which made it even more concerning because here you have this 15-year-old who has autism with no shoes on and, maybe a sweatshirt and sweatpants, but it is now cold. So they were concerned about hypothermia as well. So a lot of factors kind of changed the search as well, but they have not picked up a scent at all.
Officials have now been able to analyze home security video from that Hendersonville neighborhood and discover signs of what may have happened to Sebastian. 2 people near the family home, and as I recall, it was around 3:10 a.m. that Monday. 3:10 a.m. Who in the hay is walking around? 2 people, 2 flashlights at 3:10 a.m. in that neighborhood, and coincidentally, it is the same time during which Sebastian goes missing, which leads me to our guest, Douglas McGregor, geographic profiler specializing in violent crime and missing people. You can find him at the Geo Profiler. Douglas, thank you so much for joining us. A lot's happening right here. No canine scent outside. No shoes. No break-in. No theft. The phone's still there. Weigh in.
So if we look at each of these, the no shoes thing, there's a lot of autistic people who actually enjoy going barefoot. It connects them with the earth. They like that texture, that feel. There's a whole campaign, barefooting for autism. So I know that, and I did read the article.
Let me stop you right there, Douglas. Let me stop you right there.
Sebastian it had already been said by Seth that Sebastian wouldn't go outside without his shoes because of his autism and the anthill. Because of the anthill.
Seth Rogers,
Yes,
he's
ma'am.
right. But does that have anything to do with Sebastian? Did Sebastian go barefoot outside? Was he part of Barefoot for Autism? Do you know?
No, he's got a pair of slippers that he wears, so he doesn't have to put on socks and shoes. He puts those on if he's going to go out to the trash or check the mail and doesn't want to put socks on.
Have you seen him since the ant bed incident go outside barefoot?
No, not at my house.
Okay. All right. Back to you, Douglas McGregor. Go ahead.
So continuing on with just how he left the premises, the other question I have is the wording that law enforcement is giving out with regard to what he was wearing, the clothing, that he was in a black sweater and black sweatpants. How do we know that? Did he go to bed in that clothing? How do we know he didn't wake up in the middle of the night and change clothing? I think the wording should be he may be in a black sweatshirt and sweatpants, or he may have those things on him if they are missing from his house, but we don't know that he left in those.
That's a really good point, Seth Rogers. What about it? Is that what he slept in? How do we know that's what he was wearing?
His mom said that he was wearing black leisure pants and a black T-shirt when he went to bed.
Guys, I want you to hear what Eric Craddock, Chief Deputy of Sumner County Sheriff's, has to say.
From what I understand, it was kind of like a shirt like this. This is a T-shirt. It's not actually a sweatshirt. So it was kind of a shirt like this. Only they're saying it had something Minecraft on the front of it, or Nightmare Before Christmas, or whatever his favorite shows were that he liked. But it was a T-shirt like this, from what I understand, not a sweatshirt.
Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
Did he? Did he walk off? If so, why are canines not picking up his scent? I can tell you this, Seth Rogers. And to you, Douglas McGregor, the best witness I ever put on the stand, and all the years I tried cases, and I don't mean shopliftings, I mean felony homicides, violent crimes, was a dog. If the dog tells me the dog cannot pick up a scent, I believe the dog. So I'm having a hard time accepting what I'm hearing, that this young autistic boy just wandered out in the middle of the night without shoes on. Okay, back to you, Douglas McGregor. Tell me more of your analysis.
So looking at what the canines were able to pick up, those canines should be picking up multiple scents. And it's all based on Sebastian's routine activities. You know, does he go to a friend's house during the week? Does he go to the corner store? Does he occasionally walk to school, even taking the bus? Those canines should be picking up all those scents from that 7 days past, because canines regularly train from scenarios where someone's gone missing from 1 hour up to 7 days, and bloodhounds can pick up even longer than 7 days. So those canines should be picking up scents. They should be tracking those scents and then ruling them out as an activity from the past that isn't associated with him going missing on that Sunday evening.
Guys, we were just showing you an aerial sketch of a land.
Oops, sorry.
Wanted to make sure that there was nothing there.
I'll back that up.
Aaron Cantrell joining me.
That Sunday evening.
Guys, we were just showing you an aerial sketch of a landfill search. There's nothing good about that. Seth Rogers, why have you been told that authorities are searching a landfill?
They told me they just wanted to make sure that there was nothing there.
Aaron Cantrell joining me, News Channel 5 out of Nashville. Aaron, what can you tell me about this landfill search?
Yeah, Nancy. So they had got a tip that potentially from the garbage workers that maybe the trash may have been off a little bit. So just following up on that tip.
What do you mean by that? You can't just throw a grenade into my mind palace and expect me not to follow up. What do you mean something was off?
So basically, the workers said they have the same garbage truck drivers that come to the house, and when they picked up the garbage can, it just felt more heavier than normal. So they just said that to the authorities. So just to follow up on that tip, they went out to the landfill to search, because that's where the trash is taken. There in Sumner County, they take it out there to Kentucky. So just following.
But now let's look back to the Quentin Simon case. On the Quentin Simon case, they searched the landfill for over a week. They had it blocked off. Nobody could come in that area of the landfill, and they searched for over a week, and they searched deep. They searched through every little thing, okay? Sebastian Rogers, they searched his area where his trash would have been for 8 hours. 8 hours. We didn't find nothing. It's too late now. It's a year and a half now. That's all under dirt now. There's no way of knowing where that place is, where that piece of land is. But 8 hours. You can go through a whole week's or 2 weeks worth of trash in 8 hours. How can you do that? 8 hours. How can you do that?
Up on that tip, that's what kind of led them out there, because we're used to our garbage, the same garbage truck workers coming out there. They know kind of how the trash usually feels every single day, so it felt a little off for them. So that's why they told that to the authorities. So that's kind of what led them to the landfill to start looking around.
Seth Rogers, have you been asked to take a polygraph?
No.
Would you be willing to take a polygraph?
I volunteered.
I'm glad to hear that. You know why? I hold every parent to the gold standard. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mark Class. His daughter Polly was kidnapped from the home. She was horribly molested and murdered. When cops came to, he, like you, was separated or divorced from his wife and lived separately. You know what he said when they came at the door? He's like, take my fingerprints, search my home, search my car, search my office, do whatever you want. Find my daughter. Find who took my daughter, because it's not me. I'll take a poly. I'll do whatever you want. And they did all of that. Of course, it wasn't him, it was somebody else. But that said, has the mother and the stepfather taken a polygraph?
I know the mom has.
What?
I said, I know his mother has.
So she agreed to a polygraph. What about the stepfather?
I have no idea.
Guys, there is a reward for information in the search for this little autistic boy. Aaron and Kentrell, I want you to take a listen to what.
Okay. We know about the reward and everything. So I can't see. Something has to be missing. Something has to be missing. Okay, let's go to News Channel 5. Let's see what.
It has now been nearly 1 month since 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Sumner County. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston. Like you, we have followed this story closely and hope Sebastian will soon be found safe. Well, tonight we share this update. The teen's father tells News Channel 5's Jason Lamb, even 1 month later, he has not and will not give up hope.
Wearing a ribbon of his son Sebastian's favorite color, Seth Rogers reflects on his son's disappearance nearly 1 month later. As this search has gone from hours to days to now almost a month, how are you holding up?
I didn't even realize it had been a month yet till about 3 days ago when I looked at a calendar. To me, it's just one big day, and it hasn't ended. And it's not going to end until I have my son back.
After law enforcement scaled back its search, the United Cajun Navy, the same group that searched for missing Mizzou student Riley Strain, is now helping with the search effort for the 15-year-old boy with autism, who authorities say wandered away from his Hendersonville home. There's been no trace of the boy ever since. I'm curious what you would say to investigators, to some people watching now, who would say that kids just don't vanish without a trace, implying that there must be some kind of foul play involved. What would you say to them?
Foul play is still negativity. He's out there. We just got to find him. Stop making excuses. You know, if there's foul play, we'll find out after we get a hold of him. We got to talk to him. He'll tell us what happened. We just got to find him first.
And let's just be clear for everyone watching. Do you have any knowledge whatsoever about your son's disappearance?
I don't. I found out over an hour after.
I don't know how. I'm sorry. If anybody's trying to make a comment, my son, or not my son, my cat, my kitten, stepped on my laptop somehow and managed to put it on members only. And I don't know how to get it off of members only. And so I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I can't see anything anybody's typing unless you are an actual member. And I'm sorry for that. I don't know how to turn it off of that. I can't see. I've been looking, sitting here looking, and I cannot see any place where I can turn members only off. I didn't even see where he could turn it on, but he walked on my tablet and somehow he turned it on. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
His mother found out he was gone.
With his son still missing, Rogers urged neighbors once again to check their properties, even places you'd think someone would never go.
He's going to be in the weirdest place in the world because that's my son. You know, people are going to be like, oh, well, we're not going to check this, but you better check it. Because knowing him and his curiosity, he might be there.
He might be there, an unending hope that Sebastian's father is still holding on to. Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.
It has now been.
So, okay, that's all I have for today. I have some more, like I could show you. We are only right here on this list. I looked at the lab and there wasn't a whole lot there that I could see. I don't want to look at JLR because he's not green team. So there's other ones we can look at, and then we can look at these. But I don't want to go too far all in one day. So tomorrow that's okay, H. Davis. I'm glad you're able to type in here. My cat somehow put it on members only chat, and I don't know how to get it off. Hopefully tomorrow everything will be back to normal because it'll be a new stream. So, yeah. All right. So tomorrow I might watch this JLR, and if it has anything that we can learn from, I might use it tomorrow. I don't have anything against JLR, but he started out and he seemed like he was all over the case. And then all of a sudden it seemed like he went to the green or the Blue Jay side of the street. So I don't know. I know him and Bullhorn Betty used to work together, and then they parted ways, and I guess Bullhorn Betty's green team and he's Blue Jays. So I don't know. But I don't have anything against him as a person. I just don't see his interviews. I haven't seen his interviews as helpful. So I will watch it and see. Okay. So with that being said, thank you all for being here. Please hit that thumbs up. I noticed earlier we had 6 people in here and 5 thumbs up, and thank you for that. So do something nice for someone, even if it's just be the reason that they smile, and get Locker